What up, y'all? This is Davey D, Oakland, California. We all got a story to tell, a lesson to learn. This is my story. What up, y'all? This is Davey D. This is my story from my mouth. I'm from the Bronx, New York. You know, my age is always a secret, but I'm over 20 and I'm under 100, and I live out here in Oakland, California.
How would you say your upbringing was? Poor, middle class, or rich?
My upbringing was economically poor, but culturally rich, politically rich, and lovingly rich. So we lived in the Soundview section of the Bronx, and my mom and my stepfather sacrificed to make sure we had everything we needed. So we always had food in the refrigerator. We always had clothes on our back, but we didn't have the latest styles, and nothing like that. But in terms of what we didn't have economically, they made sure we had it in those other areas. So they were real hard on us to make sure we had the education. We knew how to be resourceful, so they took my neighborhood was about hustling. So they took hustling and redefined it. It meant like if you had a nickel in your pocket, you always knew how to make a dollar. Through either working or creating something of your own. So all those types of things is how we were raised, me and my sister, to be able to survive. Survive and thrive is what we would say.
I'm from the Bronx too. I'm from Edenwald.
Oh, you from Edenwald?
Yeah,
Okay, okay. When's the last time you was back? Huh?
I said my mom still living in there.
Okay. So then you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, my crew is over at Co-op City.
Okay.
Yeah, right there, Section 2. Okay.
I know all that well.
Yeah, the Valley, all that stuff. Yeah, that's Boston Secor, yeah.
So, did you grow up in a single or co-parenting home?
I grew up in, my mom was my stepfather was there, so it was two parents up until the time we was about, 14 or 15.
As a kid, what did you think you were going to be?
My intentions was to be a baseball player. I was on track to be a tennis player. Played a lot of tournaments, was real good at that. My dream was to be somebody who created what we now know as video games. I wanted to do something that would be similar to what we have now, but the technology wasn't around at that time. I wound up going to Cal, Berkeley, in the School of Engineering, strictly to fulfill that dream, that aspect of my dreams. Of course things changed and I got into, social and political stuff and wound up graduating in social science. Became a journalist, still DJ and do all my hip hop stuff, but that was my main thing when I came out here.
What was your first career choice?
My first career choice was to be able to create this video game. My first jobs was teaching tennis. Those were my first jobs, and then delivering papers. Had my own paper route. When I moved out here, started my own DJ business. So that's how I made my money. And my path was never really my first choice. I got into radio because I was DJing, and DJing, got good at that, started writing to talk about my DJing, That opened up doors, so I became a journalist. So some of this was just having a skill set, and out of a desire to be creative, doors open. Now I'm a professor, and I'm still a journalist. I do my radio show and I DJ. Those are the three things that I do.
did you get in your education?
I graduated from Cal, UC Berkeley. Um, that's the formal education. You know, my other education is I became really good at these other things, you know, became real sharp at politics. Um, do you have a degree for that? But that's real life experiences, right? Running campaigns, being involved with that, putting your own money up, all that sort of stuff is stuff that education don't buy, right? DJing I got real good at. That's education onto itself, learning from others, and enough that it pays the bills, right? Teaching, same thing. They asked me to come in and be a lecturer, do a lecture, and that lecture turned into, you know what, my 11th year teaching at SF State in multiple disciplines. So I think really the point that I'm getting at is that there's formal education and then there's opportunities when the door opens. And for me, it was always like, okay, this door is open. Come in and help this lady do a class. Well, if that's gonna be the case, might as well learn all aspects of it. You know, what's a rubric, what's syllabus, what's this, what's all these different things, so that you become good at it, and then that opens up other doors. The best way I describe it is with the homie E40. One day he did a video shoot, and it was for the album that he did, the Autobiography of Charlie Hustle. And it was down in LA he was shooting it there. And his brother D-Shot and Muggsy were walking around, they were sweating the cameraman. I mean, it just was on him, man. You know, well, what kind of camera is that? What's this? And you know, at first I thought they was trying to rob him. But, you know, I asked 40, man, why they sweating the cameraman? Because he had, you know, all kind of stuff going on, you know, food, and women, the whole nine. But they weren't talking or participating in any of that. They were just on the cameraman. And 40 said, man, you know, look, we're paying $50,000 to do this video. He said, we're not paying 50 again. So he said, they're learning everything you need to know from the experts. These are one of the best, you know, film directors. They know, by the time they're done, they're gonna know the camera, the lighting, the angles, everything. So, because we're not gonna ever pay that again. So this is their education. This is the 50,000 is their investment. And so he learned how to do that way. And I think being in the Bay, that's kind of like that hustle. You just look at stuff. It's like, okay, he got a camera, just like you, right? You could be a professional filmmaker, or you could do it yourself, you know? And that's just, we gotta own our own. We gotta be able to control our environment around us. So, you know, do for self. And really, if you understand it, the journey is in doing, you know, learning day in and day out. You know, I'm sure with your camera, you had to figure it out, you know, but now you know, but you won't trade that for anything, right? Just like I won't trade my journey from, you know, I started doing radio, I was doing it right here at the house, practicing, you know, just doing my own little tapes, you know, and passing those out. But that opened the doors to allow me to do program for radio, be on air for radio, be in management for radio, all that sort of stuff. So it's just really making, you know, being able to take something and make it, come from nothing and make it into something. What up, y'all? This is Davey D, Oakland, California. We all got a story to tell, a lesson to learn. This is my story.